What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Dillan Whyte, as you know, was sitting in the catbird seat, was the #1 contender for the WBO and the #1 contender for the WBC. As you know, with the failed PED test and not notifying Oscar Rivas or his team prior to the fight, going to the having a secret meeting with the WBOC, and was able to have that hearing and was cleared to fight Oscar Rivas. Didn't notify the WBC, so they end up suspending his mandatory position. He still is the WBC interim champion, but his mandatory position has been suspended. Well, he's taking another L. The WBO has denied his request to become the become the #1 mandatory for the WBO and get the winner of Andy Ruiz-AJ the rematch. As you know, he's the #1 rated in the WBO, and Alexander Usyk is slated to get that #1 position too, get the mandatory spot to fight the winner of Joshua and Ruiz too, because he was undisputed at cruiserweight, so that super champion at cruiserweight, so that automatically puts him in line for a mandatory position too. So Dillan Whyte and his team went and filed a grievance saying that they should get the mandatory position ahead of Usyk, but it turned out, it's just been news just came out that he won't get a chance to get a title shot ahead of Usyk. Usyk will be the #1 mandatory for the WBO for the right to fight the winner of Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz. So he's gonna be able to jump ahead or stay ahead of Dillan Whyte. So Dillan Whyte's taking another L, man, another L. He's already suspended in the WBC, so he's not gonna get a shot against Wilder anytime soon. So he was trying to petition the WBO to get a crack at the at that WBO title and get a crack at the winner of Ruiz Joshua too. But they've denied him. They said, nope, Usyk will be to get the first crack. Now, Usyk's got a fight coming up on the Zone in Chicago versus the TBA. You know, they had been saying that Carlos Takam had been mentioned prominently as the opponent of choice for Eddie Hearn in the Zone, but he signed with a new promoter. I think his name is Joe DeGardio. I think the guy's name is. So he's out the picture right now. So they're looking for an opponent for Usyk. So it's going to be real interesting when Joshua and Ruiz do fight, and the winner is determined in the rematch. Who has first dibs on the mandatory? Will it be Kubrat Pulev in the IBF, or will it be Alexander Usyk in the WBO? Who will have first dibs on the winner of that fight? I would imagine that at first I thought it would be the WBO would have first dibs, but I think the IBF has got first dibs on that, man. They've had a ruling. And I think that mandatory is called first. They've already stated that the winner, that the fight between Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua would have to take place by December 7th. If not, then it's going to be automatic. First bid is going to be called for Andy Ruiz and Kubrat Pulev to fight and fight for the IBF title. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Bottom line is, whoever wins out of Joshua and Ruiz is going to have some mandatories called, and it's looking like it might be heading toward belts getting split up. They're going to be calling both, especially both of those organizations insist on the winner of that fight fighting their mandatory first. You know, the WBO, will they be willing to step aside and let Andy Ruiz fight Kubrat Pulev first and then fight Alexander Usyk, or will they insist on him fighting Usyk first? And if he don't fight Usyk, will they try to strip Andy Ruiz? So that's going to be stuff that's going to get answered after Ruiz and Joshua fight, if they do fight. So they've got December 7th to fight. So we know IBF has said they have to fight by December 7th. Now the WBO, he probably has a little bit more time because Usyk is going to fight, I think, sometime in October or November. He's fighting in Chicago on the Zone. Like I said, they're looking for an opponent. So that fight probably won't be called till next year. Won't be able to take place till next year if Usyk wins his fight. He fights the winner of AJ and Ruiz. That fight probably won't be till next year, early part of next year, 2020. So I think Kubrat Pulev doesn't have an opponent, so he's just sitting here playing a waiting game. So I think he would be looking to fight. He will be looking to fight him too at the beginning of 2022. So we'll see how it plays out, man. But again, Dillan Whyte's taking another L, man. Tried to didn't like the way that the WBO was saying that Usyk would be able to get the first shot at the WBO title, WBO heavyweight title. He would get first crack at Joshua Ruiz winner, and he petitioned the WBO to make him the mandatory. They denied that request, so he's gonna have to. He's not gonna get a title shot with that organization either. And we already know his status with the WBC. He's suspended right now. He still maintained his interim championship. He still maintained his status as the WBC interim heavyweight champion, but he's not gonna get a shot at the WBC title no time soon. And now he's gonna have to wait till Usyk gets his title shot to be in line to get a title shot with the WBO. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.